What if I told you the coffee you're sipping right now isn't just warming your hands, it's burning through your future mansion? Or that the financial advice you've been following religiously might be the very thing keeping you from true wealth? In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal 3 invisible wealth killers that might be sabotaging your financial future right now. Habits so sneaky that most millionaires spot and eliminate them before their first major success. Let me ask you this. Do you know which of your current smart money moves might actually be setting you back years on your wealth journey? Spoiler alert, it's probably not the avocado toast. That's just what the financial Illuminati want you to think. What's the most expensive item you've ever purchased? A car? A house? What if I told you it might be neither? That the most expensive purchase of your life could be something you buy every single week without thinking twice. Let me introduce you to David. David prides himself on being frugal. He spends hours comparing prices, uses coupons diligently, and celebrates saving $10 on groceries. He's the kind of guy who will drive across town to save 3 cents per gallon on gas, using $4 of gas to get there. Sounds responsible, right? But here's what David doesn't see. While saving pennies, he's hemorrhaging dollars. You might be wondering how saving money could possibly be bad. Well, it's not the saving, it's where David focuses his energy. While meticulously counting coupons for 50 cents off pasta sauce, he's missing something critical. Can you guess what it is? It's opportunity cost, the invisible expense that never appears on any receipt, but follows you around like a financial ghost. Every hour David spends saving $10 on groceries is an hour he could have invested in developing a skill worth $100 per hour, building a side business, or researching investments with 10 times returns. It's like having a hole in your pocket while obsessively checking that your wallet is zipped shut. This false economy, the obsession with minor savings while ignoring major wealth opportunities, is silently devastating to your financial future. But before you think, "That's not me," ask yourself, how many hours did you spend last month hunting bargains versus developing high-income skills or investment knowledge? If you spent more time searching for Netflix shows than searching for investment opportunities, I might be talking about you. The wealthy understand something crucial. Your attention and time are finite resources. Every minute focused on saving pennies is a minute not invested in earning dollars. This realization alone separates those who will remain financially comfortable from those who achieve true wealth. It's the difference between clipping coupons for free chicken and building the systems that lay golden eggs. But there's something even more alarming about this habit that few people recognize. Would you like to know what it is? Think about the 5 people you spend the most time with. Now imagine their financial habits seeping into your subconscious like water through a membrane. Scary thought, isn't it? Especially if your best friend thinks diversifying investments means having both Netflix and Hulu subscriptions. Research from the Journal of Consumer Research shows that we unconsciously mimic the spending habits of those around us, a phenomenon I call financial osmosis. Your environment silently shapes your financial decisions more powerfully than any budgeting app ever could. It's like trying to start a diet while living with a competitive pie-eating champion. Consider this. If your closest friends celebrate every promotion with expensive dinners, luxury purchases, and status symbols, how likely are you to save and invest your next bonus? The psychological pressure to conform is immense, yet almost entirely unnoticed. It's financial peer pressure without anyone actually pressuring you. Your brain does all the heavy lifting itself. Emma, a marketing executive, couldn't understand why she couldn't save despite her 6-figure salary. The breakthrough came when she mapped her spending spikes. They perfectly aligned with social outings. Her wealthiest friend, meanwhile, drove the oldest car in their group. Coincidence? Hardly. While everyone else was buying BMWs they couldn't afford, he was buying apartment buildings that paid him every month. Who's the real genius here? This invisible pressure extends beyond direct purchases. The vacations you feel you deserve, the home in the right neighborhood, even the schools you believe your children must attend, all potentially influenced by your social circle rather than objective financial wisdom. It's keeping up with the Joneses, except the Joneses are probably broke too. But here's the truly shocking part that most financial advisors never mention. Your income will naturally gravitate toward the average of your 5 closest associates. This isn't just about spending habits, it's about income ambition, risk tolerance, and wealth mindset. If your 5 closest friends all earn $50,000 a year, the gravitational pull toward that number is stronger than you might think. It's financial physics, and it works whether you believe in it or not. So I ask you, are the financial habits in your immediate circle lifting you up or subtly dragging you down? And more importantly, what might change if you consciously expanded your circle to include those with the financial future you desire? I'm not saying ditch your friends for richer ones, but maybe it's time to add a billionaire to your podcast subscription list at minimum. The answer might surprise you, but not nearly as much as the next invisible wealth killer that affects over 80% of people trying to build wealth. You've set financial goals, you've created a budget, you're tracking every dollar, you're doing everything right. So why aren't you seeing results? And why are your spreadsheets prettier than your bank balance? Welcome to the precision paradox, the counterintuitive truth that excessive financial micromanagement often leads to worse outcomes. It's like knowing the exact nutritional content of every morsel you eat while still gaining weight. Michael tracked every expense for 3 years. His spreadsheets were works of art. He could tell you exactly how much he spent on toothpaste in March 2022. He had categories for his categories, yet his net worth barely budged. Meanwhile, his brother James, who couldn't tell you his exact monthly expenses if his life depended on it, consistently grew his wealth. James probably thinks VLOOKUP is some kind of obscure medical procedure. What was the difference? James focused obsessively on the top 3 financial levers in his life. 1, dramatically increasing his income through strategic skill development. 2, automating significant portions of his income directly into investments. And 3, making his housing decision optimally once, rather than penny pinching daily. The precision paradox works like this. When we track details meticulously, our brains create an illusion of control and progress. This false sense of accomplishment actually reduces the psychological urgency to make the big, uncomfortable changes that truly move the needle. It's like rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic, with color-coded labels. This is why people with beautiful budgets often remain financially stagnant, while seemingly less disciplined individuals build wealth. The former are caught in the comforting arms of financial busywork. The latter are facing the discomfort of big financial levers. One is playing t-ball, the other is in the major leagues swinging for the fences. But the most dangerous aspect of the precision paradox is how it tricks you into believing you're taking meaningful action. Every minute spent categorizing last month's expenses is a minute not spent increasing your value in the marketplace, networking with high net worth individuals, or researching investment opportunities with asymmetric upside. It's mistaking the map for the territory, and the map doesn't pay dividends. Which brings me to a question that might change everything for you. What if your financial tracking systems, rather than supporting your wealth journey, are actually a sophisticated form of procrastination, keeping you from the uncomfortable growth that leads to true wealth? What if your beautiful budget is just a financial security blanket? Let that sink in for a moment. Now that we've identified these wealth-killing habits, let's explore their alternatives, the hidden accelerators that the financially successful use instead. Instead of getting caught in the false economy trap, Wealthy individuals ruthlessly evaluate where their time creates the most value. They understand that saving $100 on a purchase that took 3 hours equates to working for $33 per hour, often far below their potential hourly value. It's like Bill Gates stopping to pick up a $100 bill. Mathematically, it's not worth his time. Try this exercise. Calculate your target hourly rate by dividing your income goal by 2,000, roughly a work year. Now, before any money-saving activity, ask, would I pay someone at my target hourly rate to do this? If the answer is no, either outsource it at a lower rate or eliminate it entirely. If you want to earn $200 per hour, stop doing $15 per hour tasks. That's not being lazy, it's being mathematically literate. Remember, the truly wealthy aren't those who save the most pennies, they're those who generate the most dollars per hour of effort. Warren Buffett doesn't use coupons, but he does compound interest. Take the hint. To counter financial osmosis, successful individuals deliberately engineer their environments for wealth building. They're like financial botanists, carefully selecting what grows in their garden. This means cultivating relationships with people at your target financial level, not just your current one. Creating physical and digital environments that reinforce saving and investing over consumption. Establishing automated systems that make wealth building your default rather than requiring constant willpower. Studies show that environmental cues influence financial decisions more powerfully than knowledge or willpower. One client increased her savings rate from 5% to 23% simply by changing her social media feeds and the financial podcasts she consumed during her commute. She went from following fashion influencers to following financial ones, and her future self will thank her for choosing compound interest over fast fashion. The key insight: don't fight financial osmosis. Harness it by deliberately choosing the financial influences you expose yourself to. If you want to be a millionaire, start hanging around millionaires, or at least books written by them. Instead of falling into the precision paradox, wealth builders focus on maximum leverage, identifying the few financial decisions that create outsized results. They hunt elephants, not mice. For most people, these are career moves and skill development that significantly increase income, housing decisions that allow for higher saving and investing rates, and investment allocation and strategy, not daily trading or minor optimizations. One rule of thumb: spend 80% of your financial management time on decisions that affect at least 10% of your net worth. Anything affecting less should be automated, delegated, or simplified. Nobody ever got rich by finding the perfect app to track their subscriptions. They got rich by building things that other people would pay to subscribe to. Let me leave you with a simple 3-step process to begin eliminating these wealth killers today. 1. Conduct a time value audit. Track where your financial management time goes for 1 week. Identify how much is spent on high-leverage activities versus low-impact tasks. If you're spending more time comparing cable packages than increasing your earning capacity, Houston, we have a problem. 2. Map your financial environment. List the 5 people who most influence your financial decisions and consumption patterns. Evaluate whether each influence pushes you toward or away from your wealth goals. If your financial role model is still making payments on their jet ski, it might be time for some new influences. 3. Identify your high-leverage areas. Determine the 2 or 3 financial decisions that will have the greatest impact on your financial future in the next 12 months. Reallocate your financial management time accordingly. Big doors swing on small hinges. Find your hinges. The path to extraordinary wealth isn't paved with extraordinary financial knowledge. It's created by eliminating these silent wealth killers and redirecting your focus to what truly matters. The most powerful question you can ask yourself isn't, how can I save more? Or even, how can I earn more? It's, where am I currently investing my financial attention, and is that where the greatest returns lie? Answer that honestly, make the necessary adjustments, and watch as your wealth trajectory changes. Not through dramatic upheaval, but through the elimination of the invisible forces that have been silently holding you back all along. Remember, the best time to plant a money tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. Just make sure you're not watering weeds instead. Join us for a 7-day challenge to kickstart your journey towards eliminating wealth killers and optimizing your financial focus. Engage with our community, share your progress, and let's build a wealthier future together.